special teams unit heads out for the punt.
Let's see.
The fair catch here, called for and made beyond the 30-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
On first and 10, Jackson. Open man downfield. It's Addison. He's to the 15. And he will go all the way. Jordan Addison.
Fucking
Touchdown,
go.
Vegas. That his second TD catch of the season. The
Fuck.
is up and through. And the Raiders are very quickly out to a 7-0 lead. 7-0.
I got too greedy with the base on me, man.
Is sent into the air. This taken around the 11. He'll wind up getting this all the way to the 45-yard line.
Their own 45-yard line.
And they'll move this
Fuck.
one down inside the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 16, and very quickly, a first down.
Really nice explosive play there on the ground. And tell you what, for these fans sitting in the stadium, they're not used to seeing their home team pushed around. So continue to be physical at the line of scrimmage. Mix in the runs with the pass. And if they can continue to generate these big explosive runs, I don't think they need to go away from it.
He finds Bell. That's caught. And he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys. That is first touchdown this year. The PAT, up and good. Cowboys will tie things up at 7-7 here in the opening quarter. So back to level after the touchdown. Time for the kickoff.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
From the 35, it's first and 10. On the ground, this is Ashton Genty. And he's brought down after a gain of a couple.
That goes in at the 38-yard line. A 3-yard
From the 38 now, here's second down and 7. Back to throw, Jackson. This pass, right side, going to be caught by Addison. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5.
A bit of a quick hitter here. And what you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot. But they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short gain.
And he's going to have the first down taken down after a short pickup of 5. But it will keep the drive going.
The Raiders first down. First and 10 at the 48-yard
Jackson. On the move left. That's caught. It's the tight end, Brock Powers. And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line. 13 yards on that pass play. Good for a Raider first down.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Jackson up top again. A hit he throws there, it's going to wind up incomplete. The pressure got to him that time, and it'll set up second down.
I think he knew in the back of his head, Mike, he had to get rid of this ball a little sooner than he would have liked. And with that pressure getting there in a hurry, it just ends up being a wasted down.
He's got this on target to Addison. And he is out of bounds. Mark him at the 25. That's catch 3 just on this drop. And it gets his team a first down. Again, it's Jackson. To the goal line and in. Brock Bowers. Touchdown, Las Vegas. A try here for the extra point. He gets it to go, and the Raiders will move out to a 14-7 lead. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. Now, here comes a return from the 9. He'll be out of bounds beyond the 20-yard line.
First down and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Operating from their own 23, they'll begin first and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He'll take a shot down the middle of the field. That is incomplete. No way to force a football in there. Good coverage. It'll bring up second down.
And that's exactly what every defense is trying to do in the passing game. They want to muddy up these windows, Mike, make every throw as contested as possible. No separation, contact right at the catch point, and does a great job forcing the incomplete pass.
They'll motion the slot man right. Back to the air once more on second down. Got his receiver on the in-cut. He's got it. And they'll get about 8 out of that one, but still a little work to do now on third down. Here's a first carry for their running back, and this is going to work out. He's got it. The first down at the 38-yard line.
Big hole to run through there on 3rd and 1. This offensive line, they completely dominated this defensive front, and opens the door for a really nice pickup and an easy first down.
Rush comes. They're setting up the screen.
You see so many teams wait till 3rd down to execute their screen game, but I like in this case the play caller changes things up. He uses the screen game on 1st down, which will have an effect on this pass rush going forward. How aggressive do they want to get after the quarterback? Because they got that screen play still in the back of their head.
And he'll be marked down at the 15-yard line. A huge play for Dallas. 41 yards.
And it's hardly an exaggeration when I say, Mike, that he's probably one of the most difficult individual assignments in the entire league. It's like playing football against that really good kid in your neighborhood. He's just hard to cover, and plays like this, it just shows how special he can be.
And no chance to turn and go. That one good for just a couple. Second down and 8.
It's second and 8 at the 13-yard line.
Now a give up the middle. Fighting for the goal line. They're going to stop him just short, but he has picked up the first down.
What a great run down here inside the red zone, Mike. It's so important that you still can run the ball. Great job here by the back. I thought for a minute he was going to score. He gets it all the way down inside the 1, and I wouldn't be surprised if they let him finish this drive off.
And he's not going to get in. In fact, he'll lose yardage. They push him backwards.
Brings up
And he will take this this one across into the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas. It's his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. The extra point is good. And the Cowboys will tie things up. We are all even at 14. So back to level after the touchdown. And time for the kickoff. This one taken at the 10.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
So here's a first and 10 now. They'll start from the 24. Jackson looking to throw. Laying out, and he made the catch. What a play. That's catch number 5 tonight, and it's good for a first down.
And the Raider first down. First and 10 at the 41.
On the handoff, this is Genty. And they're going to work this down inside the 45. 2 nice play calls here to kick off the drive. 15 more on that one.
Raiders first down. First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
So we are through 1 here on Sunday Night Primetime. Knotted at 14 on the scoreboard. And we're back in Vegas after this. Set to go now on first and 10.
No, we changed it.
To throw is Jackson. Moving outside the pocket. Escaping the danger. Throwing and completing. And they'll take this down inside the 35.
11 more yards. That's another Las Vegas first down. First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
A first down throw for Jackson. Drop this one down to Genty. And they're going to be set up in the red zone. They got it inside the 15.
A gain of 22
They get
more yards.
22 yards there.
Good for
First down,
Las
Vegas.
First down. First and 10 at the 11-yard line.
Here's Genty. And that'll be a pickup of 3.
Devon Bland on the tackle. It's a pickup of 3. Brings up second and 7 at the 8-yard line.
Second down, Jackson. Forced to his right. Off he goes. And he gets to the outside and takes it in. Lamar Jackson. Touchdown, Raiders. The extra point is good. And the Raiders have broken the deadlock as they move out to a 21-14 lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This fielded at about the 9. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line.
The Cowboys take over first and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Drive will start on the ground. He is met and dropped. A couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage, too.
I can promise you that is not how they wanted to start this drive, Mike. I mean, to get blown up at the point of attack, there was just nowhere for the back to go on that run.
Now thrown deep for Bell. That's over the middle and intercepted. Picked off by Darian Porter. And he's going to be brought down. What a turn of events here. He has given his guys first and 10 in the red zone.
Intercepted. The Raiders take over first and 10 at the 7.
They'll run with have doubled their advantage. It is now a 28-14 game. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. They'll return this from the 10. And this will work out quite well. He'll get it all the way out to the 30-yard line. They'll begin here on the ground. And he's out of bounds after a pickup of 3.
So this team finds themselves now in a little bit of a tricky situation here, Mike. If they don't find a way to start sustaining some of these drives and come away with points, all of a sudden you're trailing by double digits in the second half. You become very one-dimensional. You become very pass-heavy, and that's certainly not how any team in the NFL wants to play.
And he'll be taken down. The gain is 6, and it's a new set of downs. He picked up the first down.
7-yard gain. And the Cowboys first down. First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Back to throw. He'll let this go for Pickens. That one incomplete. The defender right there to make the fight. And it's second down.
Incomplete. Brings up second and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Blitz coming. He'll throw it. I had a defender draped all over him. Incomplete. Good work to body him up and set up a third down.
It's third down. And 10 yards to go.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. 19 tight, 19 tight. 7 Cardinal, 7 Cardinal.
He'll drop to throw. Down the field, but it falls incomplete.
I just don't like the look of this passing game, Mike. It just seems a bit erratic. On top of the 2 straight incompletions, they've already turned the ball over through the air. And truthfully, with how dangerous some of these throws have been, they're lucky it hasn't been even more.
That's fielded at about the 18. And how about that? Nice return there, picking his way up past the 35-yard line. Now a first and 10 from the 38-yard line. Off the play fake, Jackson. Throwing left side there, but it is incomplete. Trying to get it out to Ashton Genty that time. And it'll lead to a second down. From the shotgun, here's Jackson. That's caught left side by Bowers. And he'll be marked down at the 45-yard line. That's his third catch of this first half, and good enough for a first down.
When you're running a crossing route versus man coverage, you understand that there's going to be nobody waiting for you on the far side of the field. So if you can create separation on your man defender and separate away, there's a lot of green grass. And that's where the quarterback went with the ball.
A gain of 5. Brings up
Ball
second
on the
and
40
5.
now. Here's second down and 5. Once again, it's Genty. And he's going to pick it up and take it down inside the 35 for the first down.
So, Mike, you know by now my philosophy on third down. If it was up to me, I don't even want to be in third down. I want to get all of my conversions on first and second down and be able to stay in those neutral down situations. So it's exactly what they do here. They lean up.
And that one just kept getting worse and worse until finally they bring him down.
A big loss on the
So,
play.
2 minutes to play in a back and forth first half. We'll return to Las Vegas after this. Work to do now as they come up on second and long. From the gun, Jackson. That's a short one, caught by Bowers. And he's out of bounds, but not until he gets inside the 25-yard line. A big play there for the Raiders. 31 yards. Jackson now to throw on first down. That is hauled in at the 5. And he's very close to a touchdown. They mark him just shy of the goal line. Well, here's the chance to cap off a great half. They have it first and goal. Oh, he's going to be bottled up and taken down. They got him.
I don't hate the play call. The best opportunity to throw the ball down this close to the goal line is usually on first or second down, Mike. The issue here is the quarterback has to know, if my first read is not open, this ball
Trying to get away, but he will not. They finally run him down. And now the Cowboys going to take a timeout as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go until halftime.
Really nice job here by the defense, taking advantage of this condensed field. Anytime you're down here in the red zone, the field is wider than it is deep. It's actually very challenging for an offense to stay in their normal rhythm, and coverage has been tight. Pass rush is getting home. Back-to-back sacks.
Taking off, he'll try to get there.
You could tell that this defense was ready for this exact play call. They know that they're going to give their quarterback a chance both through the air and on the ground with his legs. They do a nice job stopping him short of the goal line to force fourth down.
This has been quite the drive. 3 points, I kind of feel like a letdown, so they're going to go for it here. Rock Bowers. Touchdown, Las Vegas. That's his second touchdown so far here in the first half. No problem there on the extra point, and the Raiders add on one more as they extend their second quarter lead. They didn't leave much time on the clock to put together a drive here at the end of the first half, and the kickoff's coming their way. Safe kick taken at the 5. And a decent return there. He'll get this up just shy of the 30. Right away, they'll set up to throw. Throw here down the field. Will fall. Incomplete.
When you air it out like that on these big shots downfield, they're not always high percentage plays. It takes a lot of things to line up timing-wise, location of the field, accuracy of the throw to result in those big plays. But I think they've got to continue to search for those and try to generate a little bit of a spark.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. He is hit before he can get rid of it, and down he goes.
Holy moly!
Hooray!
Oh, we some assholes.
Yeah, no, you're low-key missing heat. What'd you say?
We're some assholes.
Bro, but like, I don't know why he joins. He joins until, and then waits for somebody to talk to him about some sports bullshit, and then just goes quiet, and then joins again 2 months later. Like, I don't know why he joins. And he wouldn't even be in here if it wasn't for Junior. Okay, right now I'm reading about how, like, when Jesus was crucified on the cross, how we as people try to fight evil with evil. We live by the philosophy an eye for an eye, but Jesus fights evil with good. And then that was like the last little bit I read. And now we're on, like, blindness. How they weren't bad men, they were just blind men. Okay. The jeering mob that lined the roadside which led to Calvary was composed not of evil people, but of blind people. They knew not what they did. What a tragedy. History reverberates the testimonies of this shameful tragedy. Centuries ago, a sage man named Socrates was forced to drink hemlock. The men who called for his death were not bad men with demonic blood running through their veins. On the contrary, they were sincere and respectable citizens of Greece. Did you win?
No, it's halftime, but
Oh.
I have a big lead. I stopped them, that's why. I was
Oh,
half
good
covered.
job. They genuinely thought that Socrates was an atheist because his idea of God had philosophical depth that probed beyond traditional concepts. Not badness, but blindness killed Socrates. Saul was not an evil intentioned man when he persecuted Christians. He was a sincere, considerate, devotee of Israeli's faith.
Israel?
He thought he was right. He prosecuted Christians not because he was devoid of integrity, but because he was devoid of enlightenment. The Christians who engaged in infamous prosecutions and shameful inquisitions were not evil men, but misguided men. The churchmen who felt that they had an edict from God to withstand the process of science, whether in the form of Copernican revolution or a Darwinian theory of natural selection, were not mischievous men, but misinformed men. Huh.
That's actually very interesting.
But that's an interesting thing, though, because it's just saying science isn't real. People who sit here and say evolution and Darwinism wasn't real. There's no such thing as natural selection. There's no such thing as Darwinian evolution.
I think science is real by that, because I think Christianity and science go hand in hand, as in one can't exist without the other.
Yeah.
But nice theory, Martin Luther King. You cooking a little bit. I
I
see
know.
your vision. I see your dream.
Period. And so Christ's words from the cross were written in sharp-edged terms across some of the most inexpressible tragedies of history. They know not what they do. This tragic blindness expresses itself in many ominous ways in our nowadays. Some men still feel that war is the answer to the problems of the world. They are not evil people. On the contrary, they are good, respectable citizens whose ideas are robbed in the garments of patriotism. They talk of brinkmanship and a balance of terror. They sincerely feel the continuation of the arms race will be conductive in more beneficent and maleficent consequences, so they passionately call for bigger bombs, larger nuclear stockpiles, and faster ballistic missiles. Wisdom born of experience should tell us that war is obsolete. There may have been a time where war served as a negative good by preventing the spread and growth of an evil force, but the destructive power of modern weapons eliminates even the possibility that war may serve as a negative good. If we assume that life is worth living and that man has a right to survive, then we must find an alternative way to war. In a day when vehicles hurtle through outer space and guided ballistic missiles carve highways to death through the stratosphere, no nation can claim victory in war. A so-called limited war will leave little more than a calamitous legacy of human suffering, political turmoil, and spiritual disillusionment. A world war, God forbid, will leave only smoldering ashes as a mute testimony of a human race whose folly led inexorably to ultimately death. Yet there are those who sincerely feel that discernment is an evil and international negotiation in an abominable waste of time. Our world is threatened by the grim prospect of atomic annihilation because there are still too many men who know not what they do. Notice, too, how the truth of this text is revealed in race relations. Slavery in America was perpetuated not merely by human badness, but also by human blindness. True, the casual basis for the system of slavery must, to a large extent, be traced back to the economic factor. Men convinced themselves that a system which was so economically profitable must be morally justifiable. They formulated elaborate theories of racial superiority. Their rationalizations clothed obvious wrongs in the beautiful garments of righteousness. This tragic attempt to give moral sanctions to the economically profitable system gave birth to the doctrine of white supremacy. Religion and the Bible were cited to crystallize the status quo. Science was commandeered to prove the biological inferiority. Even philosophical logic was manipulated to give intellectual credence to the system of slavery. Someone formulated the argument of the inferiority of the Negro according to the framework of an Aristotelian syllogism. All men are made of the image of God. God, and everyone knows, is not a Negro. Therefore, the Negro is not a man. Damn, JD. They got you. No! So men conveniently twisted the inside of religion, science, and philosophy to give sanction to the doctrine of white supremacy. Soon, this idea was embedded in every textbook and preached in practically every pulpit. It became a philosophy, not as the rationalization of a lie, but as the expression of the final truth. They sincerely came to believe that the Negro was inferior by nature and that slavery was ordained by God. That is so crazy because they dead ass faked it because they said that they used science to show, but physically they were superior.
Yeah.
In 1857, the system of slavery was given its greatest legal support by the deliberations of the Supreme Court of the United States in the Dred Scott decision. The court affirmed that the Negro had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. The justices who rendered this decision were not wicked men. On the contrary, they were decent and dedicated men, but they were victims of spiritual and intellectual blindness. They knew not what they did. The whole system of slavery was largely perpetuated by sincere thought, spiritually ignorant persons. This tragic blindness is also found in racial segregation, the not too distant cousin of slavery. Some of the most vigorous defenders of segregation are sincere in their beliefs and earnest in their motives. Although some men are segregationists merely for reasons of political expediency and economic gain, not all the resistance to integration is the regard action of professional bigots. Some people feel that their attempt to preserve segregation is best for themselves, their children, and their nation. Many are good people, anchored in the religious faith of their mothers and fathers, pressed for a religious vindication for their conviction. They will even argue that God was the first segregationist. Red birds and bluebirds do not fly together, they contend. Their views about segregation, they insist, can be rationally explained and morally justified. Pressed for a justification, their belief in the inferiority of the Negro, they turn to pseudo-scientific writing and argue that the Negro's brain is smaller than the white man's brain. They do not know, or they refuse to know, that the idea of an inferior or superior race has been refuted by the best evidence of the science of anthropology. Great anthropologists like Ruth Benedict, Margaret Mead, and Melville J. Agree that although there may be inferior and superior individuals within all races, there is no superior or inferior race. And segregationists refuse refuse to acknowledge that science has demonstrated that there are 4 types of blood and that these 4 types are found within every racial group. They blindly believe that eternal validity of an evil called segregation and the timeless truth of myth
Did I have true audio?
called huh?
Give me a second.
Give credit to the defense. They plaster on all the eligible receivers, and he has to just throw this one away.
2nd and 10.
To what?
Nah. I was looking at my game stuff.
Oh my gosh, you included the audio.
No, like my game audio.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me reading.
Oh no.
Accustomed to seeing, especially from a quarterback that has played this much football. He's been around the NFL
Continue.
for a long time. He's got to make better decisions.
I threw a pick. I was too busy trying to focus on something else. That won't happen again.
He blindly believed that the internal validity of an evil called segregation and the timeless truth of the myth called white supremacy. What tragedy! Millions of Negroes have been crucified by conscious blindness. With Jesus on the cross, we must look lovingly at our oppressors and say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. From all that I have attempted to say, it should now be apparent that sincerity and consciousness in themselves are not enough. History has proven that these noble virtues may degenerate into tragic vices. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscious stupidity. Shakespeare wrote, For sweetest things turn sourest by their deeds. Lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds. As the chief moral guardian of the community, the church must explore men to be good and well-intentioned, and must extol the virtues of kind-heartedness and conscientiousness. But somewhere along the way, the church must remind men that devoid of intelligence, goodness, and conscientiousness will become brutal forces, leading to shameful crucifixion. Never must the church tire of reminding men that they have a moral responsibility to be intelligent. So if you're stupid, you're morally wrong. What about like autistic people? Not just joking.
You
Must we
love
not
just
admit?
talking shit, huh?
Yeah, well, but I don't think that's what he meant. You know, I think he just means that if you are stupid in things that harm other people, then you're forgetting your moral right or responsibility. Must we not admit that the church has often overlooked this moral demand for
Okay, you
enlightenment?
keep saying that quarter.
At times, it is talked as though ignorance were a virtue and intelligence a crime. Through obscurism, close-mindedness, and abstinence to new truth, the church has often unconsciously encouraged its worshippers to look askance upon intelligence. But if we are to call ourselves Christians, we had better avoid intellectual and moral blindness. Throughout the New Testament, we are reminded of the need for enlightenment. We are commanded to love God not only with our hearts and souls, but with our minds. When the Apostle Paul noticed the blindness of many and his opponents, he said, I bear them recorded that they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. Over and again, the Bible reminds us the dangers of zeal without knowledge and sincere without intelligence. So, we have a mandate both to conquer sin and also to conquer ignorance. Modern man is presently having a redensivus with chaos, not merely because of human badness, but also because of human stupidity. If Western civilization continues to degenerate until it, like 20 4 of its predecessors falls hopelessly into a bottomless void. That the cause will be not only its unidentifiable sinfulness, but also its appalling blindness. Martin Luther King would be so sad if he fucking looked at the world today. Wow.
Yeah, you would.
We don't know forgiveness. We don't know kindness. We don't know to stop war. But they're not stupid. They're just blind, I guess. I don't know. And if American democracy gradually disintegrates, it will be due as much to a lack of insight as to a lack of commitment to right. If modern man continues to flirt unhesitatingly with war and eventually transform his... Oh, that page is fully blurred. Okay, we're gonna have to just skip that entire page. But he was about to spit some bars, I already know. Unswerving devotion to the truth. It causes me to say with John Bowring, in the cross of Christ I glory, towering o'er the wrecks of time. All the light of sacred story gathers round its head sublime. It would be wonderful were I to look at the cross and sense only such a sublime reaction. But somehow I can never turn my eyes from that cross without realizing that it symbolizes a strange mixture of greatness and smallness, of good and evil. As I behold that uplifted cross, I am reminded not only the unlimited power of God, but also of the sordid weakness of man. I think not only of the radiance of the divine, but also of the tang of the human. I am reminded not only of Christ at his best, but of man at his worst. We must see the cross as the magnificent symbol of love conquering hate and the light overcoming the darkness. But in the midst of the glowing affirmation, let us never forget that our Lord and Master was nailed to that cross because of human blindness. Those who crucified him knew not what they did. Alright. Okay, I'm like super hungry, so we're just gonna stop there. I got the page 40.
Alright.
You can text her.
That was crazy. My player chose not
Yeah.
to tackle him. But
That
no,
is
no,
crazy.
I'm talking about my game. But yeah, the video was crazy. I literally had a sack and they screwed me.
You stupid Madden player! I hate you. I'm just joking.
That is crazy. You know, hate's a very strong word.
Yeah. See? What did I just read? Bad. Bad. Okay, I've been
Damn, listen to all
steaming
those
these
dishes, bro.
Japanese
It's funny because you're cutting out for me and I can't understand the thing you're saying. Because you're in the kitchen.
I said they weren't dishes. I was opening up my container because I've been steaming these Japanese sweet potatoes for the last like 6 hours.
Japanese people? Question mark? Thought we don't like them. That's your oasis.
Never that.
Oh, damn. I should dumped it off Genty. He was wide open.
And now we're seeing the game kind of go back and forth. Each team trading blows, trying to establish control over the other. Nice chunk play on the previous play. The defense responds back with a sack. And we'll see which team
Thornton's
can
gonna be open.
establish a little bit more
Genty's butt booty though.
as the game unfolds.
And Lamar will do it.
Certainly not one of his better throws, but what I love out of this quarterback today, Mike, was just how aggressive
All vertical offense walk this week. I can't speak. To actually start using my normal offense against the Chiefs. Because he wants me to try next game, not this game.
Run the ball with that explosiveness. It's just going to be hard to beat.
Still keeping the legs moving, somehow managing to turn that into a gain.
And while that run wasn't anything really to write home about, what it allows them to do, Mike, is keep everything in the playbook at their disposal. Third and short. Now it's up to these coaches to dial up this short passing game and extend these drives.
And the Raiders with a first and goal coming up. Tackle made at the 3-yard line.
That's another Raiders first down.
To throw is Jackson. And they cannot contain him at all. He's into the end zone yet again. Ashton Jenkins. Touchdown, Raiders. He has come alive after the break. His third touchdown of the second half.
Cowboys 42.
Both teams ready to go once more.
I only have 3 minutes 30 seconds left in my game.
Are you losing?
Safe kick.
Oh no, I'm up by 21. And
Oh,
he can't stop my offense, so I mean I can just
Oh, period.
so yeah, it's pretty easy selling. I just gotta waste the time.
What'd you eat for dinner today?
I had a burger from
Ooh.
Tams. Tom's,
You always
whatever.
have burgers every time I ask you.
I'm fat, that's why. I had chicken yesterday.
Far from, actually.
I had chicken yesterday though, so it's not all the
You
time.
had Chuck E. Cheese?
No, chicken.
Oh, chicken.
Yeah. Well. The usual suspects eating chicken.
I didn't say nothing. You said.
You said it in your head though. I can hear it. You have speaks volume. Oh, you have that fridge that make that noise? I have the same exact fridge that makes that same noise. That when I don't close it. Or is it different? Oh, you talking about?
It's me scraping my bowl.
Oh, but
No, my fuck ass fridge is broken though. I need to get super glue. My seal's broken, so like I think that's why all my shit is freezing. Cause like my fridge is working double fucking overtime.
should I keep scoring? I'll let you decide.
What?
Should I keep scoring?
No, like this. Yes. Like the seal is broken.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking about my batting game. Should I keep scoring?
Oh, I thought you said, does it keep going?
Oh.
Yeah, you should. I'm sorry, you're cutting out too. I don't know if I'm still cutting out.
No, it's probably just me. They were saying you sold them yesterday, and fast. You're supposed to be carrying them.
Well, they didn't wish me back to life. And it's because I told you, I deadass thought that fridge shit would work. It didn't. I looked retarded. Like, I want to know the position that I died in because I probably looked so fucking stupid. Like,
Mikey called it out. He was like, he was like, oh yeah, that shit on TikTok. Hannah tried to do that shit on TikTok.
yeah, I did. It's retarded.
Oh, I can go for it. It's the fourth quarter. Yeah, okay. We go for it. I'm gonna wait till 2-minute warning though. So I can just score and then
I'm so excited. Food. Okay, so for dinner today, I'm eating. Even though you didn't ask, I'm eating my. Oh, there goes my water. I'm eating my half of my Japanese sweet potato.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm cutting out?
No, I'm saying I'm eating.
Oh, sorry.
I was like,
yeah, I'm eating half of my Japanese sweet potato, half of an avocado, some ground beef, and onions that I cooked, cottage cheese, and half of a tomato. Yum! And I would have beans, like, usually with a meal like this, but I had beans for breakfast, so, or my lunch. Because for lunch, I had the other half of my sweet potato. An egg, cottage cheese, cucumber, half an avocado,
with
and
3
beans.
timeouts on the other
Beans.
side. Who's going to be able
Oh,
to
and my
close
green
this one
sauce
out?
that I'm also eating right now.
Your green sauce.
It's Greek yogurt, cilantro, avocado, jalapeno, and a little bit of sour cream because it was really fucking spicy.
Keep it on the ground with Genty. And he's going to have the first
Mm.
down. And that
Mm.
puts them out officially ahead
Mm.
for all intents and purposes. They're going to be able to run the clock down from here. Here's Genty.
No, stop, Jonesy.
And he's going to be
You really gonna take
taken
time out?
down.
I was gonna
Not
take a
so
time out,
easy
but
this
alright.
time. They drop
If
him
you want
back
me to score
behind
that
him.
bad,
It's second
yeah,
down.
I suppose so.
They'll try to
Got
throw
the
here.
count
Mm.
on.
Jackson
You gonna have counts
trying
outside?
to run to the right.
Ugh.
To the end zone, and it's
He
dropped.
dropped it.
Incomplete. There was no space, no separation that time. That's going to bring it to third and goal.
It just doesn't get better than this. You
It's
don't have to
likely
eat
it
like
would.
this so that I could eat Taco Bell.
Nice.
Without being a fat chud.
You say as you stuff your
Dude,
face.
listen. I knew that I was gonna be sick the next day after the wedding because my parents got Taco Bell after the wedding and I said no. I said no.
And this is going to be a touchdown. They are going to extend the lead here in the final minute of play. Extra point try forthcoming. It's up and good. And the Raiders will open it up even further here in this fourth quarter. Down to the final few seconds of this one as the kick is away. And they'll opt not to return this, but since the ball did hit
He
in
wants
that
he wants
landing
the
zone,
touchdown.
only comes
The
back
last
to the
second
20-yard
touchdown.
line.
Let's watch the rookie.
The drive begins at the 20. Here's
The
first and 10.
rookie.
I haven't watched any episode yet.
They'll look to
Uh,
throw. That'll be incomplete. And now we are down to likely just one more play.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because Snake Mike,
Because Joey's
they
not here
know
either.
this offense
He
has
never
to be
came back.
one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up
Did
the
you
back
text him?
end. And at the end of the
no,
day,
not yet.
there's just
Oh,
nowhere for the offense to go
let me
with the
come.
ball.
Oh. Oh no, he doesn't have Omaha. He don't see it. He don't see it. He don't see it.
Here we go. One final play. He's going to take a shot.
He
Sends
just
it
threw
down the
that.
middle. And the final throw of the game winds up incomplete. And that will do it. This one comes
Yeah.
to an end.
We won. I threw a
So
pick 'cause
this
I was
was
worried
a
about some
win
sound,
for the
but
Raiders.
oh, and
This was
he's
a
gonna
game of
get
both
because he
offenses
did
trying
it
to
rush
find
for
their way
5
on the field,
times.
marching the ball at will.
Well, he
Naturally,
didn't have a
there
running back
wasn't
that rushed it
points.
five
In the end,
times. He had two running
the
backs, but he didn't have
defense
one
stops
running
the
back that
run.
rushed it 5 times.
That was the difference in this one.
Free my dude. Don't only have one catch. That's crazy. My Genty was the real MVP. Even if I was just running straight streaks, Genty didn't have only one catch. What else? Oh, that's it. Nothing else. Alright. Actually, let me just show my thing on stream right now. Jordan with his attribute points for once he starts to regress. Well, actually, we're not doing that many seasons, but yeah, there it is. Alright, now we can stream.